The following may contain offensive language, adult humor, and or content that some viewers may find offensive. The views and opinions expressed by any one speaker does not explicitly or necessarily reflect or represent those of Mark Radulich or W2M Network. Please listen with caution, or don't listen at all.
TV party tonight! What? TV party tonight!
Oh, we got nothing better to do than watch TV and have a couple of brews.
Don't want to talk about anything else.
We don't want to know.
We're dedicated to our favorite shows!
Oh, my tickets!
Everybody loves Hippo Toad.
Scary dog!
Dancing at Blurnsville.
Futurama!
Hello. Good evening and welcome to... Will you quit messing with the squares?
No, go where you belong.
Welcome to TV Party Tonight. I'm your host, and I am just not getting the respect I deserve.
You are getting the exact amount of respect you deserve.
This is Alexis Hejna joining me. We just talked about a franchise that apparently got freaking torpedoed into the ground last week. Now we're here to talk about a series that actually seems to be thriving. Joining me, Mr. Jesse Starcher.
Oh, Julian, it's a hungry world. I'll sing all the rest of the lyrics. Did you know that I had no idea that was a guy that sang the intro to this?
I
this
didn't realize that until the last episode. I'm like,
wait,
that's a dude.
Wait just a second. Yes. I'm excited. I'm excited to talk about Peacemaker.
And also coming back, Mr. Mark Radulich. Hello.
I am a cat.
No, here we go.
No, not again.
Here we go.
And I am not aware of trauma. That's all I have to say. Meow. I will be doing this entire review as a cat.
Uh-oh.
Don't you sigh at me, or I'll start cleaning myself on camera.
God help us all. Yeah. We're back to talk Peacemaker, created by James Gunn, starring John Cena, Danielle Brooks, Freddie Stroma, Jennifer Holland, Steve Agee, Robert Patrick, and Frank Grillo, among others. We were all here for the first season, talking about how much fun we had with that and the massive encyclopedia of music that somehow exists in James Gunn's head. We're probably going to be talking about that again, but let's go ahead and talk about the second season. This picks up right after the end of the first one. Peacemaker is kind of unsure what to do with himself in his life. He wants to join the Justice Gang. He really wants to get out there and be a superhero. He's feeling a little lonesome since, having to kill his father and save the world. His compatriots of the 11th Street Kids are also having their own problems ever since the hell is her name? Leota. Leota.
Tasty from Orange is the New Black.
Tasty.
Sure. Ever since Leota decided it would be a good idea to go on television and out her mother, Amanda Waller, she and Amelia Harcourt are unable to find any kind of work, whereas John Economos, a.k.a. Diebeard, is still working with Argus, which we also saw a little bit of in Creature Commandos. Argus is also now being taken over by Frank Grillo, Rick Flag Sr. Again, we saw him in Creature Commandos. Go check out mine and Jason Teasley's review of that in the archives. Apparently, either the animators got a different note about what color Rick Flag's hair is, or he decided to get a dye job after taking care of the princess in that one foreign country, because he was blonde in that, and or blonde or white, I'm not really sure, but he's got dark hair in this one. And I still refuse to believe that Frank Grillo looks anywhere old enough to be Joel Kinnaman's father.
Yeah, they look like contemporaries. I wasn't buying that for a second.
Yeah, I mean, I love Frank Grillo, awesome actor, adored him as Crossbones in the Marvel Universe. But yeah, you look at the picture of them together, it's like, okay, maybe uncle, maybe.
Yeah,
but I do not see
uncle in that way. Mexicans are like, uncles and nephews of the same age.
Sure, why not?
What?
Anyway, so yes, Chris Smith, aka Peacemaker, ends up going into the little pocket mini dimension that his father had set up, which we saw in the first season. Really didn't think about it that much. And of course, now after Superman, and we've realized, you know what? When people have access to interdimensional technology and it's not checked, you could end up with a giant rift that literally tears the city apart. And that's not good.
Problem.
But in that interdimensional pocket, Chris finds a door to an alternate universe where everything seems to be perfect. Not only is his father still alive and a good guy, his brother, who we learned he accidentally killed when they were children, he's still alive, fully grown, seems like a really cool dude. And the three of them are kick-ass superheroes called the Top Trio. Everything seems to be perfect, and with his life pretty much crumbling around him in the first universe, Chris is starting to think, you know what, maybe things would be better if I head over to that other universe, especially after he accidentally kills his doppelganger. Oops.
Mistakes were made.
All right. The show does start off really hilariously with Peacemaker attempting to join the Justice Gang. I still don't know if that name has been fully accepted from what we saw at the end of Superman. Hawk Girl and Mr. Terrific are still not on board with it. Apparently, it's only been approved by Guy Gardner and Metamorpho. We have our not our first official appearance, but our first real time with James Gunn's favorite cameo actor, his brother Sean Gunn, who is now playing Maxwell Lord. Admittedly, a much better casting choice than Pedro Pascal. I adore Pedro Pascal, but he was really not the right choice for Maxwell Lord in Wonder Woman 1984. All right, Jesse, you know more about comics than anyone here. You know a lot about Maxwell Lord. What do you think about casting Sean Gunn in this role?
Well, I definitely I'm behind it. I think it's a Maxwell Lord. What I'm familiar with, I know at some point is going to become a villain in the DC universe. But I've always appreciated Sean and his acting ability and some of the stuff that he brings to the things that he's been in.
Who played Maxwell Lord in the Supergirl show that started off on CBS and ended up on the CW, Jesse?
I do not know.
The person who played Maxwell Lord on that show was like the best on-screen version of Maxwell Lord I've seen.
Hang on, I'm Googling it.
Yeah, I was going to say,
Lord, Supergirl.
You guys covered a few. Didn't you guys do a few of those seasons?
Just one season.
Peter Fasinelli. You've seen him in a couple of things. He was in the Twilight movies. He was, Supergirl, The Vanished. Played a couple. He's one of those actors who's shown up every now and then for like the last 20 years. I hate to say, freaking showing my age. The thing I know him most for was, did either of you ever see the movie Can't Hardly Wait?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
He was the jerky jock boyfriend who dumped Jennifer Love Hewitt.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, I feel like not to cut Jesse off, but that for me is Maxwell Lord. Like Sean Gunn, I was like, whatever. They needed somebody to do a comedy spot here. That's not my Maxwell Lord.
talking while the microphone is clearly still on.
And apparently insulting White Rabbit to tears. I'm just going to say it. I freaking hate the character White Rabbit. And to see her run crying, it's like, hey, you suck, bitch.
Oh, goodness.
Sorry. She was a really stupid character from the New 52. And I am so glad. It's like, okay, good. Get rid of her.
Yeah. Sean showing up for a cup of coffee and a James Gunn thing. I'm kind of, that's typical casting right there.
Mm-hmm. And he has been good in the other roles. He was great as Kraglin in the Guardians of the Galaxy trilogy. I loved his little 1-minute cameo in the first Suicide Squad movie as Calendar Man.
Oh, nice.
So, but unfortunately, because nobody knows how to set up an interview room with a microphone, so they trusted to Guy Gardner of all people. Oh Oh, poor Peacemaker realizes he's getting laughed at, and he runs out, and he drowns his sorrows in weed, coke, and an orgy. And
Wow.
what a hell of an orgy!
Wow.
So 5 minutes before that scene, Erica's like, "Why don't you watch this with Jonas? You're always wanting to watch movies and stuff with him." And I'm like, "No, we just watched Sweeney Todd together. He needs a break." I try to divide up like our father-son time with with our alone time, so both of us don't go crazy. And I'm like, I just need to get this done so I can talk about it with Alexis. Like, I don't need him to be here for this. 5 minutes later, that orgy scene happens, and I'm like, "See, Erica, this is why I can't watch it with my son. I can't trust James Gunn." Yeah.
Wow.
Like,
Yeah.
there's a lot of things I'm willing to show Jonas. I'm willing to show Harvey Keitel jerking off the two co-eds, while crying. That's fine. He has to grow up sometime. I'm not willing to show him a fucking full-on John Cena orgy.
I'm assuming you didn't show him. I'm assuming he doesn't watch The Boys with you, and I'm assuming he hasn't seen the Hero Gasm episode.
Oh, jeez, Louise.
He has not watched a single episode of The Boys. He has, however, watched the entirety of Invincible.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Although, admittedly, the way they cut with him snorting the coke to that orgy, it actually took me like a few minutes before I realized, wait, this isn't a hallucination. This is real.
The way they cut that, I thought that was in his head.
Same here. Yeah, it was. I mean, what a way to bring you into this show and be like,
a signal. This is not a Disney Plus show,
right?
No,
hey,
right.
This is screaming. Hey, we're for adults. Adults watch us. We're still cool, right? Hello, fellow youth.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Oh yeah. All right. So, okay, let me go through my notes here. But yeah, I do love I know a lot of people have been complaining about the whole multiverse thing has been massively overdone because Marvel really just took that concept and they didn't just kill it. They killed it, buried it in the ground, waited 10 years, dug it up, used voodoo magic to resurrect it, and then killed it again. And then they cloned it and they killed all their clones.
You'll never hear me complain about a multiverse story in some way. Yeah, shut up, Mark. I hear you over there. I'm a big fan of What If.
Shut up, or I'm gonna make a passive-aggressive song about you.
There's probably 5 of them about you I've already done. I've just never published.
Send them to me. I'll release them as an EP.
Yeah, they're going on Spotify tonight.
I told Erica, I was just like, I need more of these so I can make an entire album called Passive Aggressive Pansexual Peanut Butters.
That's good. That's good stuff.
Because I can't use Peter Pan anymore. Right.
Oh yeah. But yeah, I mean, I'm a fan of that kind of stuff. And actually, I, as much of a bit part as it was there in the first season, that was one thing where I was like, okay, what else could possibly be behind that door? Is there anything else there? I mean, this is some cool technology. And then we start getting our answers here in season 2. But yeah, unfortunately, yes, it has outgrown its welcome, I guess you'd say, for a lot of fans. But for me, I was all on board.
All right, so what do you guys think about Frank Grillo then as Rick Flag Sr.? So we have him taking over Argus after Amanda Waller is now going to be facing a lot of congressional hearings. And it's pretty clear that he's decided, you know what? I think I'd rather use this funding to take out the man who killed my son.
I think they did a good job of making him understated where he needed to be understated and over-the-top villainy when the moment called for it. I actually think he was handled with a bit of restraint and nuance. They turned him up, they turned him down as the scene required, which I thought was good. I think having him be all one note would have gotten annoying. I like the fact that his whole thing is he's trying to catch Peacemaker violating his parole. And then when he realized what he could possibly get and what he could possibly do and what the bigger picture was going to be, it was ironic that this is leading to a Salvation Run movie or show or whatever, because Jesse and I and Ronnie had reviewed the book a couple of years ago because it was Denali's purchase that I had sitting on my shelf. And
I was going to ask, actually, that was at the very bottom of my notes. I was going to ask, either one of you read Salvation Run?
Read it, reviewed it, raved about it, and I just did it, and I just did a TikTok on it because the Luthor-Joker dichotomy is a psychological dichotomy that I wanted to discuss about the culture. More on that. Just you want to know that, just read my go look at my TikTok that says you can't build with the Joker. But I thought the Salvation Run story was phenomenal. Just one of the best things DC ever did, not named Crisis. And I like the fact that, because why wouldn't you send the worst of the worst off planet if you had that capability? There are people on this earth today that if you gave them the option of sending prisoners to Mars, they would. Like, just get them out of here. Like, as it is, people live under like NIMBY, not in my backyard, or gated communities and whatnot. They're always trying to move away from the. Long Island was built on white flight. It's like white people leaving New York City and moving to Nassau County, and then Nassau County being overrun with, blacks who had suddenly gotten money, and so they ran to Suffolk County. There's nowhere for them to go, Jesse. They hit Ronkonkoma, Montauk even, and there's nowhere for them to go. They have to go to the sea. Anyway, but so there's so much of that mentality in human nature that it made perfect logical sense for Grillo to want to use John Cena as a useful idiot to get to a portal to get to a point where they could just send criminals off world.
So Jesse, do you think we're building to actually adapting Salvation Run? You think that may be one of James Gunn's irons in the fire?
I'd like to see that. Yeah, I mean,
hang on. Are you going to address the news that they're selling Warner Brothers and that everything that we're talking about today may be kaput?
I have given up following what David Zaslav has done to that company.
Did you or did you not give him the code red? No. I asked you a simple question. Are you going to address it? Do you even know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I saw it, and
okay.
I literally, it's like a day ends and why. Okay, what okay. As much as I love what Gunn is doing with DC,
this thought, I just don't want to do so much mindless speculation tonight, knowing that none of what we're talking about may actually ever happen, because there may not even be a DC at Warner Brothers. So that's the only reason why I brought it up.
Okay, fair enough. I was asking about the Salvation thing because I'm going to be honest, I had never heard of Salvation. Well, I had heard about it briefly in passing, but I hadn't read the book. I hadn't really looked into it. It's one of those things you hear occasionally brought up amongst other comic book nerds, And when they mention it, looks like, oh, okay, yeah, I think I've heard of it. Okay, and I read a bit more about them. Now I'm intrigued. And then you guys are saying that it's a great book. I'm like, okay, yes. Now I'm even more intrigued. So I wanted to ask you guys what you thought about the idea of that, because you know me, this is how I host my shows. I like to hear what my the rest of the panel thinks about a potential idea.
I'll allow it.
But yes, and again, David Zaslav, the man who basically has gotten so desperate for money that at one point he actually said, why don't we sell off the Looney Tunes? Bugs Bunny, the literal mascot of Warner Brothers. I would love to see the day that Bob Chapek said, hey, what if we got rid of Mickey Mouse?
That's coming.
Sure, why not? But yes, Warner Brothers has been in a financial whirlpool fiasco. What's the name? Okay, there in the Odyssey, there's that one whirlpool that if you get that you have to like pass very closely, but you can't actually go. Cherubis,
Radulich Broadcasting Network.
Yeah, that's it.
No, we're not a whirlpool. We're a black hole. Okay, you see us coming a mile away, and yet you still can't get out of it.
What was the original question to Jesse? Do you think they should do a Salvation Run movie or some shit?
Well, what did you think about the idea of Gunn has been very clear about what his future plans are for the DCEU, but what would you think if one of them was a Salvation Run adaptation?
Yeah, I know it's been a while since we covered Salvation Run. So Mark, do you remember you just did a TikTok on it? Tell us in 50 words or less what it's about again.
Yes, after the events of World War III and a couple of other really nasty DC villain events,
It doesn't also like Wonder Woman go nuts with the Amazons or something, like an Amazons attack or something.
There was like a list of things that happened. One of which was the Black Adam rampage. Another thing was like an attack of Amazonians. There's a whole like list of shit that happened. And so they basically used the mother boxes to send to it was Planet Hulk, but they had to like up the ante. I don't know which came first, Planet Hulk or Salvation Run, so I don't know who copied who. But that's the premise of it, is they open up a portal using, I think, mother boxes, and they just fucking like Trail of Tears the entire DC fucking villain catalog through this goddamn portal. And they send them to basically like Hawaii in space. And they're like, look, there's enough natural resources here. There's animals, there's temperate weather, oxygen, which would be great. Lots of luck. You're not coming back to Earth, though. And they shut the portal behind them, and then they just stranded in space somewhere. And like half the group, like Lex Luthor creates a group of people dedicated to taking what resources they can find and getting off the planet. Then there's the other half of pigs who made their house of straws following Joker. And they're just like, we just want to laugh and play all day. There's that group. And that group has like some of the most notorious fucking violent villains. So they keep stealing shit from Luthor's group.
This is starting to sound familiar now.
Yeah, and then eventually Vandal Savage fucking teams up with Luthor, and they're like, we gotta get the fuck off this planet. We can't deal with the wackos anymore. And there's Joker. Here's my dick. So
I was also reading apparently.
Eventually they do it. And Lex Luthor is just like, I told you, I can't be beaten. He's just like, this is for you, McNulty, as he like runs through the portal.
No, I was also reading apparently Rick Flag Jr., who's still alive in the comic, also sends off a good chunk of the Suicide Squad when he realizes, you know what, I can't use you people anymore. Get the hell out.
Oh yeah, they're all gone. It's everybody. Like,
wow.
Anybody that was ever a villain is sent to salvation.
Yeah, this is. I'd love to see something like that. I don't know if it's going to have the gravitas that the book will, because I'm sure we're going to be restricted by some type of financial who we can cast and what roles and whatnot.
You can't do a Salvation Run movie not the way they do it in the book, because there's a lot of characters in that book. That would be a huge cast.
Yeah, not to mention there's probably a handful that they're looking to not really use, because there was a term that they used for a while called the Bat Embargo with Bruce Timm's animated DC universe about characters that were still being used for the Batman properties. And they said, well, we can't really use those for Justice League. And I'm willing to bet that there's a handful of characters that they're looking at saying, okay, yeah, technically Batman does exist in our universe, but because we're also doing Matt Reeves' Batman, we probably don't want to use those characters. Like, I know Catwoman is a crucial character in Salvation Run, but I seriously doubt they would want to use her because Catwoman's so crucial to the Matt Reeves Batman.
Well, one thing we can say for sure is James Gunn is not afraid of using obscure characters and actually making them mean something. So I think that'll be anything that he's afraid of.
Salvation Run would have been doable had they had a run like the first 10 years of Marvel movies, and it would have been like an Infinity War movie, where you already have a collection of these characters from different movies, and they all show up in Salvation Run. And then they all come home, and they do like Crisis on Infinite Earths or Injustice or something that would have been an effective endgame to the DC Universe, except that DC Universe can't get out of Chapter 1.
Nope.
I don't need to go through what happened with this past Superman movie. It wildly underperforming. Not to mention the fact that whether it underperformed or not, James Gunn may no longer be at DC and Warner Brothers. So, you're asking a question about like, would I like to see it? Sure, but it's almost impossible to do right now. But James Gunn didn't know that when he wrote Peacemaker season 2.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, who knows? Maybe we might get something closer to a Salvation Run in Peacemaker season 3, as long as David Zaslav doesn't torpedo the company into that whirlpool. Sorry, there's never a bad time to make fun of that man.
Okay.
All right, but yes, we got this new perfect universe, or at least it's perfect to Peacemaker. His brother's still alive. Mark, what did you think about seeing Keith alive? I mean, that moment where he comes in and you don't even know who he is at first, and the look on John Cena's face, he realizes it's his brother who he's never actually seen all grown up before. Just this moment of, oh my God, this is a moment that he's probably dreamt of this for the last 30-something years. And to actually have that.
What I liked about Peacemaker season 2 was that they laid off, to a degree, a lot of the goofier shit from season 1 and actually made this about something. I liked John Cena's Peacemaker kind of going through this change of like, I don't know what I am if I'm not a vicious murderer. He's dealing with the trauma of having killed his brother, and now he has an opportunity to connect with his brother as a contemporary adult male. He has this opportunity to connect with his father. You know, he's just like, it reminds me of like Star Trek Generations or some of these other movies where you get to step into the world where all your wishes are fulfilled. You know, this perfect world that you've always wished for, and he gets to live it. And what does that feel like? And how does that work for him? You know, him seeing Chris, that's a part of it, but really like him pursuing Harcourt, and Harcourt being kind of an emotional retard, and like I don't mean like the, you know, like her emotions are retarded. Like they are not able to grow. You know, they are stifled, traumatized. That's what I mean by that. And so she can't love Chris the way he wants to be loved. And he's like, but there's another version of you in a whole other world that will love me the way I want to be loved. And she's been waiting for a guy like me, because the version of me that's in that world's a shitty domestic violence version, drunk.
And I just happened to accidentally kill him.
Yeah, and so it's just like everything I ever wanted is in this world. All I have to do is step into it forever. And I really like that about this season, that, you know, that essentially it's about, you know, the temptation of getting everything you want. Like how does that feel? What does that look like? So I thought all that stuff was great. Like I said, I really liked, until they were so obvious to the point of being idiot moron toddlers, that I really liked this show. And when I got over my issues with James Gunn and his Arrested Development, I was able to finally enjoy the last episode or two. That one episode where they do the Nazi reveal, I was like, I almost turned it off. I was
boo.
I'm so fucking sick of the low-hanging fruit. Fucking everything bad is Nazis. There's never been another bad thing else in this universe. Never. There's never been Mongols. There was never like the violence of the French Revolution. There's never been a Bolshevik Revolution. Nope. There was cavemen, Nazis, Trump. That's all. That's the extent of evil on this earth. Please read a book. Any book.
All right, we should probably go ahead and talk about that, because yes, it turns out that this perfect universe where Chris gets to spend time with his father and his brother, and he's he's a beloved superhero. It turns out it's a white supremacist world where the Nazis
next time
won.
I see something like this, I'm going to start reading aloud the atrocities committed by Native Americans.
Oh boy. Comments, please, ladies and gentlemen. You know,
I can't wait.
Down.
Mark, I can't wait to see your reaction when you find out who's leading the Avengers now that Captain America has once again died.
Please tell me it's She-Hulk.
No, and Jesse knows who I'm talking about, because we were talking about this earlier on Facebook chat.
Mm-hmm.
All right, but
reveal.
yeah. So there is the reveal. I do love Harcourt's reveal or talk about. She's like, you didn't notice the copies of Mein Kampf on every table. You didn't notice the giant mural of Hitler. It is hilarious because Peacemaker is stupid enough that he probably would have been like, oh yeah, how did I miss that?
It's not right to call him stupid. He's obtuse, just a little obtuse, maybe unobservant even.
Ignorance is Chris.
That's right.
All right, but yeah, you and Robert started talking about this after we got done discussing Black Phone 2 on Monday. Plug, go check out that show. And you guys were going into it for so long, I basically abandoned ship. Not only because I hadn't watched the series yet, I literally just binged it over the last 2 days. It's only 8 episodes, but I was just like, oh my God, I'm not interested in this. And I was also running on low blood sugar and was like, screw this, I'm done. I want food. But yeah, Jesse, I'm going to start with you first. What were your thoughts on this reveal? I mean, admittedly, there was I don't know. I knew about this reveal going in because because the internet is like really lousy at keeping a secret.
Yeah.
But so I started looking in the background for hints. I was looking for anything that would have revealed it. I would have loved to have seen just some hints about that this was actually, a Nazi universe.
Right.
And I couldn't find a damn thing.
So, okay. Yeah, let me kind of part out how this reveal occurred for me. So I'm about episode 2. Episode 2 has ended, and I think we've been exposed to this universe now, and we kind of know a little bit about what's going on. Well, somebody had sent me a message. I can't remember if it's one of the guys from Kapow or something like that. They didn't, come out right and say, hey, this is what it is, because they're very spoiler conscious. They don't want to spoil it for anybody. And, we're only at episode 2. And, but they made it seem like just, pay attention to what's going on. I was like, oh, okay. And then my daughter, who is not watching Peacemaker, somehow had found out about what was going on. And she goes, have you seen it? Have you seen anything revealing what it is yet? And I said, no. And she's like, okay, well, be ready, because I'm like, okay. So I'm doing the same thing you are, Alexis. I'm starting to try and pick out what can I pick out that's going on here in this alternate universe that's going to be crazy. But then just context clues of things I was putting together and what it could possibly be. And then I started to think to myself, I need to start watching for any African Americans. And I saw none. And I get to episode 4 or something like that. And I'm like, and I look over at my wife and I'm like, this is my thought. This is my theory. I'm wondering, I have nothing to base it on because nobody spoiled it for me and I haven't looked into it. And yes, okay. So when we get the reveal, I was kind of expecting that. Earth X has a history in the comics. It has a history on television with the Berlanti universe, right?
That's right. Yes.
So, I mean, this is...
Yeah, I was going to say, we had the Crisis on Earth X, and I remember us talking about that briefly, because I said, I'm willing to bet you I actually predicted like 2 years we're going to get Crisis on Infinite Earth, and it was actually 6 months later, and I said, I know it!
Yeah. So, the reveal for me, I just remember, thank goodness I didn't spoil myself, even though I was expecting it. It still hit for me. I mean, I was like, okay, yeah, this is going to be interesting. But, immediately your thoughts turn to Abadayo, because she's in that dimension at this point. She's decided to go for a walk, and I'm like, uh-oh, this is going to be bad. But yeah, I mean, I appreciated what we got here as far as a reveal. I thought it hit just like I know. Yes, Mark, there is definitely Nazis are bad, and our media tends to let us know that a lot more lately. I don't know why, but for some reason it does. And I think that James Gunn using this, it fits, because in season 1, what was going on with his father? He was the White Devil.
Can I defend my position?
Oh, sure. Well, if we told you no, what would happen? No, I'm just kidding.
I'd make a song about it right now. Play it on the air. Hey, it's not copywritten. I can do that.
Again.
You don't need Nazis to do fascism.
Okay.
You don't need Nazis to do fascism. If the Nazis had conquered Europe, maybe they come to America, maybe they don't. Maybe they do and get crushed. Did you happen to see what happened to the Nazis when they went into the Soviet Union? I'll remind you. Napoleon went into the Soviet Union and did, it's a little cold, it's a little cold, it's a little cold, and he ran away. And then Hitler said, I have a different idea, And he got there and he goes, oh, it's a little cold.
It's a little cold.
Same idea. Thank you, Eddie Izzard, for that. Who I copped that from. There is no guarantee that if Hitler had even made it to America, the armies would have been able to conquer.
Okay.
Fascism is an idea. Fascism is an idea people seem to like when it's not them being fascistized. Okay? If you can, it's the Randall thing from Clerks.
Now, my immediate, I know it's not Randall, but I immediately thought of, I'm bringing it back. But that's not the bit that I'm doing. That's not Randall. Is it? Is that Randall that says that? Okay. All right.
No,
I couldn't remember.
It's just like
I missed a Clerks 2 reference. Damn.
Well, the bit from the original Clerks when it's like everybody's an asshole except me, and if I'm, something about like if I'm king, and then I get to make all the rules, and then none of this matters. It's kind of that. For a lot of people, it's kind of that idea of if the rules benefit me, then I don't care if we other and hurt and torture everyone else that doesn't look like me. You can do an America that puts blacks and Asians and Hispanics into camps. You can do an America that adopts fascism, because I think we've seen in reality just how much we're willing to tolerate fascism if you feel like it's benefiting you personally.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that he had to go to Nazism tells me he doesn't really understand history or ideology, and that he's got child brain. And if you like this and you agree with it, and you can't also see that you can do fascism without Nazism, then you also have child brain. And I'm just tired of it.
You've got to think, though, this is a comic book show. They're going to reference what happened in the comics. I mean,
You're talking about Earth X once again?
Yeah. If you look at it, this has been around since the 70s, if I remember correctly. Like, this has been a storyline that's been around for quite a while. So, it's not that I don't think Gunn's like, I'm making a choice to go here because granted, there's a little bit of a political statement, but it also does have roots in the comic book.
Okay.
That's true. It wasn't like he just said, you know what, let's just pick Nazis for no reason. It's like, no, like Jesse said, Earth X is a thing, and it's entirely plausible that's where they would end up.
You know what would have then gotten me to not get this angry? Had someone in the show mentioned that.
Oh, okay.
That there are, that like if early on when Peacemaker was doing the different doors or whatever, so someone does a Lion King and goes, "That's Earth X. We don't go there." And then he's like, "Earth X, you say?" And he rolls in. What's in Earth X that's so bad? Oh, it's my dream. Why is this so bad? Like, it doesn't make the connection, but we, the audience, know what Earth
already
X is.
Yeah.
No, like the reveal to the audience is ass stupid. The reveal to John is great.
Mm-hmm.
That's the difference to me.
I'll give you that. So like I said, I was looking in the backgrounds for any kind of hints. I would have loved just a few little moments that Peacemaker doesn't see that says something is wrong with this universe.
The reveal looks like a Monty Python sketch.
Yeah, it's very out of nowhere. I was hoping for something like someone being carted off into a truck, which he doesn't see, or maybe there is a copy. We do see the copies of Mein Kampf on the desks, and he doesn't see. Again,
like when they're chasing Tasty, and she does what I did and runs to the bad part of New Orleans accidentally. True story. And then she gets to see the. That part in every horror movie where you finally see the secret that hasn't been shown for the first 45 minutes of the film, and it's and it's a close up of this horrible thing. Oh no, the naked truth. Oh no, the naked truth. Ah, the naked truth.
The scene, the elevator scene in Cabin in the Woods. Sure.
If you say so, I've never seen Cabin in the Woods, but you know what I'm talking about.
Good scary movie.
But you know what I'm talking about, right? Like that flash cut reveal of like 3 or 4 different things. For you to go, oh no, Soylent Green is made of people. I don't think I've got enough references into the show. Let me do a few more. So, That's what needed to happen with Tasty to make this a little bit more effective. Was like she gets to see the blacks in camps. Like, okay, and because instead of doing the Monty Python sketch of didn't you see the Mind Comms and didn't you see the mural and didn't you see them goose stepping and didn't you see the Nazis? Like, come on. There's sometimes the show plays things for laughs and it works, and then there's other times, did you just assume the audience was stupid?
Yeah. I have my thoughts that, I think that Chris was clearly just overwhelmed with everything that was good in this dimension, and that blinded him to just about everything. Now, clearly somebody's going to see that on the wall and go, okay, something ain't right here. But Chris is an idiot. And I could almost believe it, but I think it also works. And this is the last thing I'll say about it. I think it also works on a level of, you talked about how this dimension is something that you get everything that you wanted. But the other thing that is happening here is that one horrible event that happened to Chris in his past isn't there. And if you could go back and erase that one event that caused your life to be such a train wreck, caused you to kill your own father, even though your father was a complete shitbag and he deserved it. And you could go back and reverse that, and all of a sudden you're in a world where your brother is alive and your dad is not as bad as he was at all, and he loves you. What would that be like? So that worked for me, because now not only does he have everything he wants, he's got Harcourt who's after him. He's also able to live in a life where that horrible event didn't happen. And
he's a respected superhero. Yeah,
he's a respected superhero, but you're just waiting for that other shoe to drop, because unfortunately, this is a tragedy. This whole season it ends not well for Chris.
Oh, that's like the best part of the season for me. Him having that nervous breakdown at the end where they're all become such savages and they're fucking stabbing whoever it was.
Yeah, poor Keith. Keith is getting, and he's just sitting there watching him kill
him like fucking animals. And he's like, "No,
it's my brother."
Yes, it was great. I honestly like. John Cena doesn't always get the credit that he deserves for being a good actor. That was beautiful.
Yeah,
I'm not like you guys. I like art. I wish Robert were here to tell me to go to hell. I really do appreciate like the emotionality of things. Like that's what I'm into. I don't give a fuck about any of this other stuff. Like I watch Peacemaker because I like John Cena, and like the first season was really, really good. But like it being a comic book show doesn't appeal as much to me. The stuff that appeals to me is him having that nervous breakdown, him dealing with his emotions, the stuff with Harcourt, actually the stuff with Vigilante too. Like, feeling, him when John leaves and Vigilante's like, everything I thought about our friendship just got destroyed and I'm alone and I already don't have great ego integrity. That was hard for me to watch.
Yeah.
That man got broken up with by the love of his life. Mm-hmm. And he didn't know what to fucking do about it. And boy, not Jesse. He's been with the same woman for 100 years. But for the rest of us, how many times have we been through that where you feel like your whole world just evaporated and you are half the person you used to be because this person dumped you?
Absolutely. Vigilante is, in my opinion, one of the absolute best parts. He was one of the best parts of the first season, and he's one of the best parts of this season. I adore Freddie Stroma in the role. If I have to hear someone say it's like, quiz me about manta rays, quiz me about spiders. I lost track of the amount of animals that he asked to be quizzed.
He had so many great moments, when he was on the screen this season. The moment they go into his like lair and he's got stacks and stacks of like cash everywhere and all this stuff but he won't use it because it's
cocaine. He's about the cocaine.
All the cocaine.
What is it about the greatness of that scene is how much cooler you are when you have stacks of cash.
I know.
Because suddenly they saw him differently.
Oh yeah, they did.
Look, I hate James Gunn. mostly because Alexis likes him as much as she does. But I also think he's too juvenile for me. But whoever wrote that scene is fucking brilliant. And everybody.
James Gunn wrote the whole season. He only directed a few episodes, but he wrote this whole season.
Well, good for James Gunn for really understanding when he wants to the psychology of people, because they all saw Vigilante differently. They were like, "Holy cow, I suddenly have a lot more respect for you."
Oh yeah.
The way he turns around and they just start grabbing all the money because he won't spend. It's like you said. Well, it was like, I thought you were broke. You asked me to pay for breakfast the other day.
Like, I can't use
that's
this money.
blood
It's blood money.
That's not blood money.
Is it weird though that I respected Vigilante's point of view?
Oh yeah,
I can't. This is ill-begotten stuff. I just like, what am I supposed to do with it? I kill people.
Oh man.
And the scene of him going into Vigilante X's house, oh my god! I was like, did Freddie Strobel get high on laughing gas before he recorded this?
Freaking hilarious!
The way he laughs so hysterically at every little thing. It's like, you're a squirrel in this universe. Why are there 6 of you? There should only be 3. My dad's not gay here.
Yeah.
Oh my god, he just the way he's, and then he counters himself. And I'm sorry, I know it's low hanging fruit, but I love that they we did the Spider-Man thing.
Yes,
I know that
did.
was so stupid, but god, that made me laugh.
Yeah, it was that's what I loved about like his obsession to go find his other self. And then when he does, they're just sitting there laying everything out, and then they find the one thing that they don't have in common, and that's where Vigilante X hates Peacemaker. And of course, it was good. I loved him every moment that he was on screen. He did a great job this season.
Yeah. And I will say this, I don't know anyone whose favorite Pokemon is Infernape.
Infernape. Oh, jeez.
So many other better fire types.
She is a cat.
Get ready. Here he goes. He's
not
become. We started talking Pokemon.
drama.
He's uninterested. If you could not tell.
Okay, fine. Then how about we talk about probably the best cameo? Well, okay, I don't know if you'd count this as a cameo appearance because he does dance in the opening number, but getting Michael Rooker as the world's best eagle hunter, aka Captain Cultural Appropriation.
I fucking fast forwarded through every bit of his stuff.
Oh, you gotta be
hated
kidding me! Michael Rooker is a treasure, especially when he works with James Gunn.
Yeah.
Enjoy, children. I'm gonna think about one more cat videos.
And entertainment. Yeah, I loved him on there. I loved the Prime Eagle and all of the he brought some fun stuff. And I also really like Tim Meadows' character in this. And oh boy, when at the end of this, you could kind of tell that Vigilante and Tim Meadows' character are kind of they're having a little fun together. And if we do have a season 3, those two, they're going to be fun to watch. They are going to be a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, I love Tim Meadows. The bird blindness thing was just
bird blind.
Hey, Alexis, did you get fucking vibe from the sheriff from
Resident Alien?
Alien.
I didn't, but now that you bring it up, I cannot.
I was like, Tim Meadows was doing a less annoying version of that.
Less
character.
aggressive, yeah. Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah. He keeps calling Economos Ginger Cool. The scene where he's talking to him, he just starts randomly rubbing his shoulder. Nicknames he gives all the other people.
I've never it's funny to see actors really come out of their typical character shell. I think of Tim Meadows. I think of the Ladies' Man. I really don't think of somebody this aggressive. He's great. Tim Meadows was a real treat this season.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm never going to get bird blindness out of my head. Why didn't you tell me he had a duck? A duck? I never said it was a duck.
Judo Master coming back, which was fun to see. And, he kind of got involved this season as well.
I got your next song, Jesse. I can't watch people eat Cheetos. It's gross.
That's the next song?
That's your next song, yes.
That's my next song.
That's your next passive-aggressive song about me.
I can't watch. Okay.
I can't watch people chew gum or eat Cheetos.
Is it extra weird seeing it with the Cheetos with an H at the end?
No.
No, that was the line from Judo Master. Says also Cheetos with an H and N just tastes weird.
No, I ignored a lot of that. I've banned my kids from eating Cheetos in front of me. That's how much I hate it.
Wow. That's interesting.
I can't. It's gross.
Well, all right then.
I would rather have fascism than Cheetos.
Mark opens up, and he doesn't notice everybody's eating Cheetos, but that one moment has just been reversed. Oh, geez.
I don't know. I did love a lot of the extra little Easter eggs. Again, this one of the things that makes me laugh, or it makes me enjoy this new version of the DCEU is all the Easter eggs. Gunn and his writers and his creative team really put a lot of work into planting little seeds that's really going to be appreciated by the fellow comic book nerds. One of the first things that you see in the library / trophy room on Earth X is the headlines that they took down: the Ultra Humanite and the Rainbow Creature. The
Rainbow
freaking
creature
from the Rainbow Batman saga.
Oh my god!
Like, holy crap!
Nice pull.
I only know about that because I actually have a pin with the cover of the Rainbow Batman issue on it. I love that pin. It was just like, again, it's like when you saw Suicide Squad. I'm like, you actually found a way to work Starro the Conqueror into this, and it doesn't suck.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then he comes out and Keith's like, I thought you were in Bloodhaven. I'm like, oh my god, you guys actually freaking name dropped Bloodhaven. I will say this though, they talk more about they had that whole conversation about the dimensional imps. If this is not leading up to Mr. Mix's Picklick, I am going to be so disappointed.
Oh,
because can you imagine how awesome that character would be in James Gunn's hands?
yes, 100%. That'd be blast.
Yeah. Yeah, Mark, you know a little bit about Mr. Mix's Picklick. We discussed it when we reviewed the Supergirl series.
Mitzelplex?
Yeah,
Mix's Picklick.
Yep, him too.
Mitzelplex.
Uh-huh. Sure.
Yeah, he's all right.
The interdimension. He's Q in different skin.
Yep.
No, I've always had this. I love the chaos characters like Discord, Q, Mix's Picklick, the ones who literally just show up and it's like, you know what, I'm bored. I'm going to screw with you guys. I love characters like that. So I am so hoping we get to see Mix's Picklick in a future property with this. I think it would be so much fun. I wanted to segue from us actually talking about Michael Rooker. How freaking awesome was it to see Eagly step up a little bit?
Oh yeah. And I mean, he's such a respected part of the show too. Like you want to see what happens at the end. You want to see Eagly give somebody a hug. And old Economos finally gets a hug from Eagly. But yeah, you know, Eagly was. I think it was it the first or second episode where he takes out that whole strike team?
Second episode, yeah. The strike team goes in and he freaking rips one of their eyes out. Yeah, it's like, damn, go Eagly!
Brutal.
I don't know if you guys saw this, but when Superman was being advertised, one of the ads that they played, especially on like the Warner Brothers or DC Facebook page, was an interview with John Cena as Peacemaker asking who was tougher, Eagly or Crypto. And of course, Peacemaker is like, Eagle's a freaking eagle. You think he can't take down a scrawny little dog?
That's great. That's good stuff.
Yeah. Of course, now I want to see Eagly team up with Crypto.
I wouldn't mind it.
I wouldn't mind it either. But yeah, so looks like things are going okay. We get the start of Checkmate or Checkmart.
No, it's Checkmate. You got
Checkmate.
It.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I am not that familiar with. I know of it. What do you know of it?
I'm right there with you. I've seen Checkmate had a book for quite a while. So I know it's obviously an organization. You can kind of put that together there at the end of the episode. My goodness, I want to say, you know, I talked about Maxwell Lord and his villain turn, and I feel like when we were reading the Booster Gold comics, he was part of Checkmate at the time when he kills Ted Cord. So when he kills Blue Beetle, and I can't remember, I think this is during 52, if I remember correctly. So it was like 2000 something or other. But anyway, so Maxwell Lord becomes a part of that organization. I don't know if that's something that we're ever going to drive to, but anyway, yeah, I wish there were a lot of people that really liked that book, but I wish I could look at. You're going to have to look it up to kind of give the listeners an idea of what exactly they get into.
Mm-hmm. Well, unfortunately, it looks like we're going to have to sidebar checkmate because, Peacemaker has been thrown on salvation because Rick Flag Sr. just is not going to give up his vendetta. And now, forging his signature, Chris's signature, to make it look like he volunteered to go live in salvation.
All that fun stuff, though, of them trying to go and find salvation first, that was hilarious. Like, well, and also some of it's pretty deadly. They go into the Candyland world first, and then, all these things come out and attack them and kill a couple of the people. But you get a whole montage of that, which I thought was really cool. But yeah, then just like you said, we get Peacemaker thrown onto the world, and that's kind of where we end things.
Yeah, get the spider, the skull spiders world, or as I like to call it, the next Fra Diavolo cover.
Perfect.
She's mad that I made an album celebrating you because I love you.
I am not.
You are. Her and Robert complained about it on Monday.
Oh,
like, why don't you? She was just like, I only got a song. You gave Jesse a whole album. That sucks.
I did not say that, you liar.
You're like, you even put him in the title of the album, "Songs in the Key of Spiznarchy," and she was like, "That's not fair. Make this about me." And I'm like,
the only thing I complained about, Jesse, was the artwork with the skull and the bowl of noodles because I said it's off center and it just bugs my
what that's supposed
OCD.
to be or what that's a reference to. Honestly, I fucking the songs are eating beans. I think that's what that's supposed to be. I don't think that's pasta. I think it's beans.
Those don't look a thing like beans. Beans are not that long.
I'm looking at the picture again.
Oh boy.
You're right. That definitely looks like a bowl of noodles, but I don't know. Jesse, in the 5 songs that I did chicken nuggets, meatloaf. Oh, maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's meatloaf.
Yeah, there's no way it could be meatloaf. Meatloaf, and then eating beans. And the groceries. Yeah, I have no idea.
There's a 2-for-1 sale on beans from what that song tells me. There's Subway cookie with Erica thinks it's the best song ever written.
Oh wow!
Well, until I did, she is a cat. Okay,
there it is. Make me some earrings. I will not wear them.
And then the last one is just eating beans. So like I don't know where a fucking bowl of pasta with a skull came from.
No clue. No clue.
You brought it up, Alexis. If you introduce it, I'm running with it.
Fair enough.
Not fair at all.
Yeah. But no, I really didn't have that much else to talk about. I really did enjoy this season. I will agree with you, Mark, that the whole reveal about it being Earth X was kind of lazy. I would have liked a few more hints in the background. I would have liked something. I'm okay with it being a swastika and being Nazis as long as we got a little bit more of a something is not right with this world. Yeah. Kind of a thing. I mean, I feel terrible for saying this, but I didn't even realize. Again, I knew about it, but until Harcourt said, I haven't even seen a person of color around here. That was when I first realized. Oh yeah, everyone else is white.
It's subtle. But there was a couple moments where you're like, boy, these people feel like hillbillies, and I was like, okay, yeah, that's we're leaning into that a little bit. But yeah, I'd like to get your guys' opinion on a couple things. Let's talk Harcourt. So, Mark, I'll let you lead the discussion here on Harcourt with how broken she is.
That line, I start bar fight so I can feel something.
Yeah, dude.
Mm-hmm.
She might as well have just been wearing, I screamed on Monday, like all we're about is identity and trauma. But there are times where writing a story or writing a character confronting their trauma and, them not knowing how to express emotions appropriately, them doing self-harm, which is what she's doing as a form of self-harm. Mm-hmm. That all works. It's like stuff I like when done right, when done appropriately. I like it. The way they handled Harcourt was handled well.
Okay. All right, Alexis, you got any thoughts here?
It was handled well, but I'm not going to lie. Maybe it's because I know she's James Gunn's wife. I do not buy the romance.
He bagged Harcourt?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I respect about him.
What
a hot chick that he nails.
Yeah, that's his wife. Yeah, you can thank Michael Rosenbaum for introducing. Apparently, that he was a mutual friend of theirs. Why do you think he showed up in Guardians of the Galaxy 2? That was
just goes to show you nerds. If you actually have fucking talent, hot girls will like you.
Are you saying James Gunn has talent?
Ah, damn it! My own petard.
Thank you, Jesse.
I mean, clearly, fucking Disney thinks so. As does DC. But DC is run by a drunk squirrel, so who knows?
No, my only complaint was, again, maybe it's because I know that she's the director's wife, but I just have trouble seeing the romantic pairing between Peacemaker and her.
Why?
In the first, I don't know. I just don't see in the first season when he hits on her and she says no. It's like, well, of course he's hitting on her. He just got out of prison, and she's, like the first thing person who's talking to with tits.
Season him winning her over, and then she saw what a good guy he was. Like it was a classic romantic hero arc.
I don't know why. I don't buy it. I don't know. I don't know.
Bright colors and cartoon characters for you? I don't understand. How do you fucking miss this?
I don't know. I look at them together and I was just like, I don't know. I just don't see them as a couple.
Hot guy with a square jaw and hot girl with blonde hair, and you don't see how they go together. Like they're like fucking, Danny and Sandy.
Danny and Sandy.
Grease Jesse.
Yeah, I know the reference.
That's on the calendar at some point, isn't it? I've got to watch that.
My birthday party next year.
I've never watched it in my entire life.
Oh, you're gonna, baby.
Yeah, trust me, I know it. One of my current best friends played Zuko in the high school production.
And then we're all gonna shoot fentanyl and watch Grease 2.
Oh boy.
God help us.
All right. My second, quickly, I want to run down the soundtrack for every song that popped up this season. And you guys, all right. Now, did you pay attention to the music that hit this in this season there, Mark?
Sure.
Okay.
Actually, what did you think about Mark, going into Peacemaker's room on Earth X, seeing all of those kick-ass rock posters, but all of the spelling was slightly different. Because when he walked in and I saw him, like, oh, look, it's Mark's dream room.
Yeah. He's okay. All right, here we go. I'm running down. He's obviously ready for the countdown. Here we go. All right, you ready?
No.
All right.
Ask me if I'm ready again.
Well, first off, what do you guys think about the new opener? Is it?
I missed the first season.
It's not bad, but I do prefer the first one. Maybe it's just the song.
Okay.
Let me tell you how. Was it Can I Taste It or some shit?
Do you really want to taste it? Yeah.
Yeah. Do you really? Watching the first, I remember distinctly watching the first season and watching the opening credits every episode because I could not get enough of that song and that dance. The second time around, I watched the first one and skipped it every episode.
Yeah, Mindy hates it. She loved the first one, and for some reason, and then I think it started to grow on me because I didn't like it at first. But I think Foxy Shazam's "Oh Lord" is okay. I think it's all right, and we get a live performance of that at the end. Don't Never Leave Me, Hanoi Rocks. Okay. Guest List by Hardcore Superstar, Dreamer by Foxy Shazam, Blue Jeans by Silver Tide, Outrage by Sinister Sin, and that's episode 1. Episode 2 is Evil Thoughts by Foxy Shazam. So they have clearly become friends with this band because there are a lot of songs that happen in this season.
I was going to say, first season of Creature Commandos, nearly every episode had a song by Gogo Bordello. So.
Okay. All right. Repercussion, spelled like
repercussions. Sorry.
Is it actually? I do know. No.
I'm doing reproduction, but from Grease 2.
Gotcha. Oh,
God help us.
The Repercussion by The Cruel Intentions, Dirty Money by Ida Maria. This Time It's Love by the D-Malls. We Don't Need a Cure by Hardcore Superstar. Episode 3 brings on Break It Out, Ammo Track, Dreamer by Ozzy Osbourne. That kind of hit. Animal by Shining, Please Don't Leave Me by the Pretty Maids, A Shot at Redemption by Heat. Episode 5 gives us Ain't That Kind of Girl by Diamonds. This is actually my song with my wife, not the one we danced to because it was going to be way too long. November Rain by Guns N' Roses hits.
Hey, Jesse, remember that we left the cake out in the rain?
I'll never forget it. Take Me for a Ride by Bad City. Episode 6 has Little Drops of Heaven by Pretty Maids. Oh my gosh. What is the greatest band of Earth X? Halloween Halloween was like the great. They never, if I remember correctly, like the Beatles were famous at all, but Halloween was. So Forever and One.
Yeah, I giggled at that. I'll be honest.
That was good. Forever and One by Halloween. Presence of Mind by Dynasty. You remember Dynasty? Episode 7 has Still Pretending by First Signal. We Can Never Die by Veins of Jenna. Gore-Tex Weather Report by Shining. Someone Special by Hardcore Superstar. Mark Radulich. I know you watched the whole scene that featured this song. Fucking My Heart in the Ass by Steel Panther.
Sure did.
We got We're Not Gonna Take It by Dee Snider, which was a different rendition of that song, if I remember correctly. Yeah. Alice Cooper, Only My Heart Talking. To Get Back to You by Nelson, live on a ship, if I remember correctly. And then Reckoning by The Cruel Intentions. So there you go. That's a rundown of all the songs of Peacemaker Season 2. A lot of there's quite a few jewels in there, and obviously they are wanting you to pay attention to a couple bands.
Have you, Alexis, have you looked at the amount of people that watched Peacemaker Season 2 compared to Season 1? Has there been a drop-off? Have more people watched it? I'm curious to see if the popularity has waned.
Let's take a look here.
I would say that I remember hearing a lot of buzz about how, like, the last episode went over with a lot of people. A lot of people hated the last episode for some reason. And then some people were trying to defend it because, you know, they were trying to say that, well, our characters actually grew a little bit here, and others did not like the way that it went down. I don't know if that translated into how many people watched it, but anyway.
Okay, this is what's on Wikipedia for the reception. This isn't necessarily comparing the first season. I'd have to actually go through and write that stuff down. But Rotten Tomatoes, 95% of 143 critics' reviews were positive. The web consensus reads, Peacemaker second season goes multidimensional while still maintaining a singular focus on emotional stakes, seamlessly transporting this outrageous antihero into a fresh cinematic universe. Metacritic signed the season a score of 78 out of 100 based on 18 critics. Critics found the season to be better than the first, calling it just as dark, brutal, and silly, but more grounded, character-focused, and heartwarming, with praise for Cena's performance and the wider cast.
Okay.
I am asking Fancy, because Fancy doesn't let me down. There is evidence that Peacemaker
Here comes the robot apocalypse.
There is evidence that Peacemaker Season 2 had a higher initial viewership in the U.S. than the end of Season 1. According to data from Samba TV, the premiere of Season 2 drew 22% more U.S. households in its first 4 days compared to the Season 1 finale. However, Yawny McYawn face, and this is important, this does not provide a full apples-to-apples comparison of entire seasons in viewership, so we cannot conclusively say that overall more people watch Season 2 than Season 1.
So inconclusive.
I was going to say, I think the only other notes I had on here were some quotes. I love the line, "You're living in the worst level of Grand Theft Auto." I'm talking about where Lee's apartment was. Struggling to get out of talking to Adrian about animals, I fell face first into the Adrian vortex.
I feel so sorry for Adrian's mom, by the way. With the
I
way
know,
that he talks
right?
to her. I'm just like, why does he such a jerk to her? God.
Why is she unable to pick up on the cues that her son's a jerk? I mean, the way he's like, "Mom, don't follow me," and she's following him and will not shut up.
She's an old lady who wants attention and doesn't have a husband.
Well, she doesn't have a husband, right?
All right,
that. Her behavior tracked for me. Like, not to say that I would want that. I don't talk to my mom if I can help it. But why is she doing that? Why is apparent to me.
Yeah, and I will say this. I don't know why some people were complaining about this cameo. I guess they were hoping we were actually going to see David Cornsweet or something. It was awesome seeing Nicholas Hoult, and I stand by what I said during our Superman review. He is still the best on-screen Lex Luthor we've ever had.
Gene Hackman.
No. I am a fan of Jesse. You will get what I'm saying because I brought this up in the review. I prefer post-crisis Luthor to pre-crisis Luthor, so I prefer Nicholas Hoult to Gene Hackman.
Okay, all right then.
Still wrong.
You didn't disagree with me when we reviewed it. You agreed that he was freaking phenomenal as Lex Luthor.
Okay, still not as good as Gene Hackman.
Rest in peace, Gene Hackman. You were awesome.
That's right.
All right, I think that's
I'll
everything
catch you
I
for
had.
this, Hackman.
I'm sorry. I prefer post-crisis Luthor. I love the idea of this manipulative genius businessman who is able to do all of this evil shit in plain sight because he knows how to cover his tracks.
Give a shit
You know?
less. Gene Hackman overacting in those Superman movies is the funniest fucking thing ever. I, Lex Luthor, the greatest genius of all time, have Superman's address. So
Okay,
good.
Jesse, you know comic books better than I do. What do you prefer, pre-crisis or post-crisis Luthor?
I've
We're
always
having two different arguments, right? Go ahead, Jesse.
I have I have an affinity for the post-crisis Luthor. I mean, we've done a lot of stories with him in it that they have written him very well, being what he is. So yeah, I'm going to go post-crisis Luthor easily.
All right, and who is your favorite on-screen Luthor? Pre or post, whatever. Gene Hackman, Nicholas Hoult. I'm not going to ask you if it's Jesse Eisenberg because I know you have a brain and you're going to say no to that.
Michael Rosenbaum.
Ooh, good choice.
Yeah,
very good choice.
I don't know why, but I think that he's one of my favorites. So
all right,
Who's
now
that
I'm not
from,
including
Smallville or
animation.
some shit?
Smallville.
Yeah.
Not including animation because in my opinion no one will ever top Clancy Brown as the voice of Luthor from the DC animated universe, but I will also stand by that no one will ever top Kevin Conroy or Mark Hamill as Batman or the Joker.
Yeah, cartoons aren't real entertainment, so let's just stick
Oh,
with,
my son told me, he said, "Dad, you need to listen to some real music." I had AI music playing, and he told me I need to listen to real music. I could make an argument that cartoons are, entertainment as well, Mark, as well as AI music is real music. So
no kidding. Has your daughter been listening to the K-pop Demon Hunter soundtrack?
No, I'm surprised. I'm surprised that she has not tried to get me. I've been wanting to watch that with her too, and we have not watched it yet. So
I think Luli has.
Oh boy, it's taking the world by storm.
It's coming back to theaters. A sing-along version is going to come in either. I can't remember if it's this weekend or next weekend.
Yeah, that's what I saw. I saw it was coming back.
Yeah, I mean, what was it? Was it? I think it was the week before Tron Ares that they did they did the release into theaters, and I remember reading that it was #1 in the theaters, and it was a week that I didn't do Damn You Hollywood with you, Mark, and all I could think was, to a bit of fly on the wall to see yours and Robert's reactions. that was the #1.
Probably no reaction other than like, oh, cool.
No, that actually came up today because Warner Brothers released a statement. They're getting ready to release nomination consideration packages for the Oscars and for award season, and they are very heavily pushing "I Lied to You" from Sinners for Best Original Song. Which is a great song. And there's all these comments from people saying, yeah, it's a great song. No chance it's going to be a song from K-pop Demon Hunters because everyone's convinced it's probably going to be Golden or Your Idol.
Losing to fucking Wicked.
Is Wicked, are they doing an original song for Wicked?
Oh, original.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe, probably. It'll probably have some like Arab girl walking into a door saying, I am woman, yeah.
But no, so like I said, that's when that came up. And honestly, if it was between Golden or I Lied to You, I don't know which one I would pick. They're both amazing songs.
That was an Aladdin joke, by the way, Jesse. That was from the live action Aladdin, where they made up an entirely new song for Jasmine to sing, and it's like she kicks open a door and it's like, I have a vagina.
I remember us talking about that, and I brought up. It's like, wow, all of that about how I'm going to stand tall, but her argument to get the guards on her side was so weak. I'm like, really, all that buildup, and that's all you could come up with?
Yep.
Yeah, that movie has not gotten any better. None of the live action adaptations have gotten any better with time. All right, but yeah, so on the assumption that David Zaslav does not torpedo the hell out of Warner Brothers. At this point, I'm waiting for him to freaking sell off like advertising rights to the iconic water tower on the lot.
Does not sound like it's going good over there. So dude put it up for sale, right? Is that what he said? Like he was,
Yeah.
Oh, geez. Wow.
I don't know who's out. In all honesty, Disney can't buy anything else. They're up against antitrust. I think Amazon's finally there. You know who doesn't have their own in-house? They have like select contracts with content providers like Sandler's production company and Zack Snyder and a few others, but they don't have their own in-house like production studio the way that Amazon has MGM and Disney is Disney. What if Netflix buys fucking Warner Brothers? Can you imagine?
Was that bandied about a while back? Like I feel like I've heard
Maybe.
that before. But
Netflix becomes Netmax or something like that.
Or in a reverse thing, which would make me laugh and and Robert's head explode. Lionsgate buys Warner Brothers. I don't know where the fuck they get the money. Maybe they get borrowed from Saudi Arabia.
gonna
They
say.
a lot.
just the pit gets wider as they acquire. It's like a large black hole that just continues to feed and get bigger.
Mhm.
Could
Man.
Universal buy Warner Brothers, or would that also be an antitrust?
That's why I started down this line. The other major motion picture studios, like I think Paramount and Skydance are now one company. MGM and Amazon are one company. Universal is one company with like NBC and a bunch of other stuff. But gosh, and then Disney has Lucasfilm and Marvel and Pixar. Fox, yeah, I think after Fox is what finally got them to the edge. So there's not a lot. So there's not a lot of left of like big entertainment companies besides Netflix, or again, unless like like fucking A24 buys them. Like I don't think they could. Like the amount of capital they'd have to raise.
A24 put out a statement last year that it's hilarious because they're known as the independent film gods because they're the ones who really push all of the indie films, and that's awesome. But they actually released a statement saying
who won Best Picture last year? Nora.
Yeah,
that was an A24 piece.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, they released a statement saying, we got to actually release some like major, money making shows because we're not going to survive if we keep just making indie shit. Netflix is really doing well. Nearly everything they've done this year has massively excelled. Done really well for them. So. But yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think of who else could possibly. I really hope Amazon does not buy Warner Brothers. I don't know why. I don't want that. Could be worse. Elon Musk could buy it.
Jesse, I just found like the world's greatest YouTube channel. It's called Band Vinyl Collection. And I found it because I got a link here that says, I don't like it up my ass. I love it, from Dragon Shaft.
Dragon Shaft. Nice.
I might have to spend some time on this site.
Oh boy.
All right, gentlemen, were there any other talking points about Peacemaker Season 2 that I forgot that you wanted to talk about? Any other characters we missed? Any
Popular videos. Glenda Fairbach, I want to guts in my ass. 1969, 1.2 million plays.
What?
Betty Joe, I'll take it up the ass for you. 1986, 1.1 million plays.
What?
I got one more, and then I'll let Alexis have her show back.
Oh,
Glenda Fairbach, shoot it up.
Glenda Fairbox.
Shoot it up my shitter. I'm gonna.
What is the name of this site again?
I'm gonna send you the link now.
I feel like I may have seen these before. Yeah, these
remember
are
like
funny.
an hour ago when I was like, "I'm so smart, you all are so dumb."
Yeah. Entertainment. He's so artsy fartsy. I mean, really, the only other thing I was kind of scrolling through my notes here. The only other thing I kind of just wanted to throw out there, I was not expecting I wasn't expecting John Cena's dad, the Blue Devil, I guess at that point, to actually, I thought it was going to be a typical, oh, everybody in this universe is bad. That's not the case. He's actually pretty virtuous, and he is not one of the racists. And when what's her name calls him a Nazi, I think Harcourt calls him a Nazi or something. He's like, no, that is not what because I was expecting, he's going to be a Nazi just like he was over in the regular Earth. That's not the case. It was the exact opposite, which was really cool. Part of, I think the Sons of Liberty, I think is the name of the group, or he was part of it, or at least helping them out in some way. I thought that was neat. It subverted expectations for me. That's really all I really had, but that I wanted to just throw out there. But
yeah, the fact that when Peacemaker tells him what happened to their Peacemaker's like, okay, so it was an accident, and he believes it. He's just like, he doesn't even question. It's like, okay, fine. He's like, oh, it was an accident, and that he's like, and he's immediate reaction is, okay, you all are going through the portal, and then I'm shutting that thing down, and we're stopping this.
Very reasonable, very matter of fact. Like, oh my goodness,
sorry, it's like, guys.
The dogs have taken over.
Can I read more of these to you?
Oh. I don't have. This is not my show.
When a man loves a woman in the ass.
Oh, Alexis, don't ever invite him on another show.
Okay, seriously, you know what, Eddie, Cleo, go back to fighting. That was more entertaining.
Put the mic down there and lay it down by him.
I honestly wouldn't have read another one. I thought you were going to be gone for longer, trying to stop your dogs from killing each other.
Sorry, no, I fed the dogs right before I started recording, and I have to put Eddie's bowl near me because he wants to be near me. And sometimes he forgets, oh, wait, there's food. And if he is not near his food, Cleo, the bottomless pit of a Labrador, is like, hey, free food. And he had a few pieces left in there, and Cleo was like, well, if you're not going to eat those, and Eddie basically said, hands off, bitch.
Yeah, damn.
Yes, I honestly hope that wasn't too loud. I don't know how that came out on the microphone. So
that just sounded like a bunch of dogs barking.
Okay, so I'm sorry about that. It only took a few seconds. So.
Ain't that big of a deal. I
always worried it sounds worse.
I'm excited. If there is a season 3, I will definitely watch it. This season wasn't as absurd as season 1 was, I don't think. But I feel like I don't know. I feel like there is a lot of dissenting opinion on this season. To make it probably, not as well received. But again, if we still have Warner Brothers and we still have James Gunn, I'll definitely watch season 3 and I'll be back here again talking about it. So see what happens. See if Salvation Run happens.
I hate to admit, but I think one of the things I'm really hoping for with season 3, I think we're getting a second season of Creature Commandos. And I would love to see just not like full crossovers, but a cameo appearance. How awesome would it be to have G.I. Robot and Dr. Phosphorus
bring it
show
on.
up in an episode?
Bring it on.
Just imagine seeing G.I. Robot go to Earth X. That would have been awesome.
All right.
Mark, anything else besides you talking about someone else's YouTube channel?
No. He's going to read a title. Watch out.
No,
please don't.
I'm going to behave. I respect Alexis and her agency.
Since when?
Since when?
I don't want to be on here any longer than I have to be. So, I was trying to be nice, and then you fucking called me out like a dick. So no, I'm good.
Okay.
I talked about whatever it is I need to talk about with this show.
All right, but yeah, go check out Peacemaker season 2 on HBO Max. A lot of fun. Looking forward to hopefully getting a season 3 if Warner Brothers doesn't self-implode by then. So let's go ahead and move on to the plugs. Jesse, you and I are actually going to be reviewing shows for a few more weeks after this, because next week we are going to be talking the retrospective of Stranger Things season 3.
I cannot wait to talk about that because it gives me the opportunity to start season 4 right after it. I still love season 3. Don't get me wrong. I'm excited to talk about season 4 as well. So yeah, this will be fun.
I'm looking forward to it because a lot of people say season 3 is their favorite season. You get a little bit more of a change. You get to see more of the characters actually interacting with the mystery of where's Elle and where's Hopper. They're all in the same location for once. And I do love bringing in Carrie Elways as this new pseudo villain.
Yeah,
he is so much fun when he plays a conniving little, little sniveling bastard. I love it when he plays that kind of role.
Good stuff.
And after that, the week after that, we're going to be discussing season 2 of Gen V, which I have not started yet.
Same here. I haven't started yet.
And after that, Mark, you're coming back to join us to discuss Only Murders in the Building season 5?
Yep.
Yep. Which again, haven't started yet.
I think it's like that's the final season, isn't it?
I have absolutely no idea. I've not done any reading on that. I this is 7 straight weeks of TV Party Tonight. I am limiting myself to only watching one show a week to keep my brain from goopifying any more than it already has.
Yep.
That's like, yeah, if I'm not working and I'm not sleeping, I'm watching shit for you, Mark.
Right.
Of course, after that, we got a little break, but then Jesse, you and I will be joining David Wright to talk Hazbin Hotel Season 2. That actually starts next week. Really excited. It's one of my favorite shows. So I'm really looking forward to us talking about that in November once the season ends. I'm not sure how many Dame New Hollywood you got me coming on. I know The Running Man is coming up next month. I've requested to be on that because I freaking love Edgar Wright's film, so I really am excited to discuss that. I think that's it for my plugs. Mark, you want to take over there?
Tomorrow, myself, Shay, and Mick, in theory, will be looking at 3 of the greatest musicals of all time, done in film form. Les Miserables, which I watched last night. I can see why. Not that I totally agree with you. Big surprise. But I didn't think Gerard Butler was a bad singer. I've just heard more powerful singing in like the actual Broadway show.
The problem with Gerard Butler's casting, and this has been brought up so many times, is that he is a really good singer, but he's trained in like folk and rock. He's not an on-stage actor.
That entire movie is missing that belting passion from the stage musical that I saw. I've seen Les Mis on Broadway.
Oh yeah.
When Javert is talking about 2, 4, 6, like he says 1, and you look like the guy from the Timex commercials. Gets blown back by the speaker. When those guys, when Javert and Jean Valjean are like going at it, it's like I stole a loaf of bread. Like they're very dramatic, and Hugh Jackman's really good, really great in this too. But everybody is a step understated in all of their musical performances, including the kid who sings. Oh gosh, I can't remember the young Cosette when she sings her song. Like it's pretty, but not as good as none of the music in this is as good as the musical. Again, like another really good example, that Master of the House, fucking Master of the House on Broadway is just fucking rockin' tune. Jesse, like you should go when we're done tonight before you run upstairs. Go look at an original cast recording of fucking Master of the House.
And then suffer the curse of George Costanza and never get that song out of your head.
It is an amazing, powerful, hysterical song. Like I remember being a kid and hearing like cast recording commercials for the musical. It's like Master of the House, don't make me laugh. Like it's like they're fucking professional wrestlers. Like they're that loud. And then you hear Sacha Baron Cohen and
Helena Bonham Carter.
Yeah, whatever the fuck her name is, and they're just like whispering the song. I'm like, ugh, this is not what I wanted.
I personally love Sacha Baron Cohen because he's amping up with that over-the-top French accent, which is hilarious because the play takes place in France, and he's the only one with a French accent.
Yeah.
But he knows to make it more comedic. I like that he's like, you know what? I'm going to be the clown, and I'm going to play that up.
He seemed more like he was doing Rooster from Annie than he was that character. But whatever. I'll talk more about it tomorrow. So we're doing Les Miserables, Phantom of the Opera, and Sweeney Todd, the Demon Barber of Fleet Street, which my son loved, thought it was fantastic because he's smart.
One of my favorite film musicals, and I argue one of Tim Burton's best films easily.
Well, all of his films are terrible, so that's a low bar to clear. Speaking of which, Saturday, myself and Evan Bevins will be comparing and contrasting the Red Sonja movies, the one from '85 and then the one that came out this year that no one saw, or whoever saw it was a YouTuber just wanting to, slam it. And Jesse, have you had enough of me, Jesse?
Oh, no, never.
Good. Because I mentioned to Robert that we were doing this on Sunday, Requiem for a Dream, The Wrestler, and The Whale, and Robert's fucking knee-jerk reaction was, why do you hate Jesse? I would not watch those in a row, by the way.
Oh no. Oh,
Yeah. Do you remember the tearjerker episode from American Dad?
No.
Okay, then that joke doesn't land.
No, it won't.
Needless to say, this is like the most depressing trilogy I've ever put together.
I've seen one. Or no, I haven't seen either any of these films. I don't think so. I don't think I have.
You've never seen The Wrestler, really?
I have not seen The Wrestler.
Oh, that's a good movie.
Yeah, and Caleb watched The Whale before I even had a chance to. Have not had a chance to watch it. And Requiem for a Dream. What is that again? I've heard of it. But...
Don't watch while high. Let me just put that out there.
Don't watch while depressed either.
Yeah. Requiem for a Dream came out during that like art house that rise of like art house 2000, like late 90s, early 2000s fucking film snob era. So it's it's right up there with Donnie Darko Donnie Darko, yeah. One of the movies that everybody who was a film snob saw, and it's a fucking trip, man.
Jennifer Connelly, Jared Leto, huh?
Yeah,
it's back
when Jared Leto was tolerable.
It's about 4 separate people and how they cope with addiction, and it is one of the most depressing films I saw
really
it in
trippy, if I remember correctly.
Oh yeah, very trippy. But yeah, I watched it in college with a friend of mine who was the biggest film nerd on the planet.
Yeah, and
I walked out and said, I can never see. I seriously was like, I am never watching that again, and I haven't. It really fucks with your head.
Oh boy!
I almost want to invite you on the podcast, and I don't want to invite you on any podcast, but I almost want to make you. Well, I have such a need to torture you. I want to make you sit through fucking Requiem for a Dream, The Wrestler, and The Whale.
She can say no.
Kill yourself on camera.
She can say no.
When are you ever going to forgive me for subjecting you to The Bondsman?
What?
Oh boy!
Anyway, I don't remember that. Anyway,
I just assume that's why you like torturing me so much, as I made you watch a series of Kevin Bacon.
No, I like torturing you in general. Doesn't really matter what you do. Speaking of which,
I have no mouth and I must scream.
On Monday,
please tell me I didn't just waste a good Harlan Ellison joke on you too.
On Monday, myself and Robert will be reviewing Springsteen, Deliver Me from Nowhere. Then Wednesday, myself and Harry Broadhurst will be reviewing Effie's Big Gay Brunch UK3 and Game Changer Wrestling Josh Barnett's Bloodsport 15, also from London. London calling. And then I'm going to subject myself to 3 women bullying me because I am a good person.
You need it.
Shut up. Whatever. Anyway, I'm going to do a director focus on triple feature on Tim Burton that I was bullied into. We'll be discussing Edward Scissorhands, Mars Attacks, and Dark Shadows. That'll be Alexis, Mick, and Shay, and me with an entire bottle of Jack Daniels that I haven't opened yet.
You know, I gotta tell you, I don't know how I ended up on that podcast. I don't remember volunteering for it. I don't remember if I got shanghaied into it. You just said I was on, and I'm like, okay.
I assumed you wanted to be on it because you're that kind of person.
You're a Tim Burton gal?
Oh, I am a very Tim Burton gal.
Yeah, I was like, I could have sworn you asked to be on it. This was a year ago when it was put together. It's been how long it's been on the list.
I think I said yeah, but because when you mentioned Dark Shadows was on it, I was like, I saw Dark Shadows once in theaters, and I specifically
the original pitch was Sweeney Todd, and I didn't want to do it with Tim Burton. So originally it was Mars Attacks, Edward Scissorhands, and Sweeney Todd. And then I was like, this is a better fit with 2 other musicals. Let me pull another Tim Burton. And I'm like, here, this seems like a Tim Burton movie that sucks. We'll do Dark Shadows. Because I didn't want to fucking subject myself yet again to stupid Willy Wonka.
I only saw Dark Shadows once. I saw it in theaters because my mother and my aunt grew up loving that TV series when they were young. And they said they had to go see it. And I'm like, well, I know nothing about the TV series, but I'm a big Tim Burton fan. So I will go see it with you guys. And I just walked out and I'm like, please tell me that was something like the show because I have absolutely nothing to take away from this. I think I was more excited about Christopher Lee's cameo in that than anything else. Oh, and the Alice Cooper scene.
Okay. Oh, Jesus Christ. Get me out of here so I can go take drugs.
I got to take drugs too. All right. Jesse, you were the only one who didn't get to do plugs?
I didn't yet. Let me see here. What do we got going on? This past Monday, by the way, check out the Source Material Comics podcast. That's where all these podcasts are going to be on that feed. Should be able to find that on a podcatcher, or you can type that into YouTube and should be able to find them there. This past Monday was myself talking about the Men in Black 3-issue series that dropped in 1990. Black and white comic done by Aircell. And if you want to learn what was inside those 3 issues that may have inspired the movie, it's there. It was a good book too, for being an independent black and white book. A lot of humor that landed, especially for 1990. It was really good. So if you want to check that out, I think I did like a half-hour show on that. And then previous to that was me and Mark Radulich getting together. That was for Unspoken Issues, by the way. Now me and Mark are talking source material on the Source Material Comics podcast. On the 13th, we dropped our discussion on The Crow. So it was the first time I had ever had a chance to read that book. And we had a great discussion about, goth girls and all sorts of fun stuff there. And then next week is Mark and I talking The Many Deaths of Layla Starr, which was a good book as well. And fun discussion too. And also you can check out the Snap Material podcast, where myself and Evan Bevins get together and talk about Marvel Snap. So if you play that on your mobile device, you can hear me and Evan give you a bunch of inaccurate information, but have a fun time doing it. So,
hear me and Evan Bevan lie to you repeatedly.
Next month, you'll hear us apologize, because that's usually what happens. We got that wrong. But yeah, we're having a good time doing that. So that's all I got. Thanks for having me on here.
All right. And as far as the plugs that pay me, Honeysuckle Rose Creations, where fashion meets fandom at the intersection of geek and chic. So we are getting ready for Twin Cities Comic-Con up in Minneapolis. Looking forward to it. And to stage, thank you. Then we're going to be doing Planet Anime here in Kansas City, and that is going to be our last show of the year. Looking forward to a little time. I always say I'm looking forward to time off, and then it's like 2 weeks into my winter break. It's like, get me the hell out of here, and I'm just desperate to get out of the house. So, hang on a second. I thought you freaking loaded this. There it is. I want to say, if you're a fan of Peacemaker, check it out, because we do have our Peacemaker cufflinks made out of repurposed Scrabble tiles. And you will note that the dove is facing down and to the left, which is the clue that you are on the right Earth, because when it was facing in the other direction, that's when it was on Earth X.
Oh, okay.
Jesse, are we ever getting another time to eat?
I'm sure that at some point one will drop.
Why is it taking forever for you to get the second time to eat out? I put out a fraudy oblong.
I know you
every
did.
Month.
I know you did.
I have 2 coming out in the same week. I have one coming out, Subtleties for Cowards, coming out Sunday, and then your thing, Songs on the Key of Snarky, is coming out on Halloween. I have two in the same fucking week, Jesse.
You can't rush. You can't rush greatness. I don't know what.
I don't have 500 Suno tracks. What do you mean? You can't pull 10 of them and make another time to eat?
I'm really curious as to, Alexis is showing us her products here. What made you think of that? Was there something?
I wasn't listening or watching. I was thinking about.
I'm so sorry, Alexis. Unbelievable.
I was thinking about your songs. Here, I'll let Alexis finish and then we'll come back to this.
You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Blue Sky. Screw you, Twitter. That's Honeysuckle Rose Creations, the intersection of geek and chic. Huh?
Why are you calling me Twitter? Jesse.
Mark.
Can we take a moment on this podcast, this very important, well-informed, and creative podcast, to discuss why Time to Eat has not been released?
Time to Eat. As in time.
I'm sorry. You know what? Maybe we should just go ahead and say thank you for tuning in. For Mr. Jesse Starcher, for Mr. Mark Radulich, I'm Alexis Hejna, and I'm going to go listen to these two spearhead the robot apocalypse.